Connecting Silicon Valley and Wall Street.
I'm John Furman, co-CP here with Dave Vellante, my co-host.
Welcome to the Raise Summit coverage, brought to you by Solidigm, with support from Tensordyne, D-Matrix and Argentum.
Welcome back to theCUBE's live stream here in Paris, France. I'm John Furrier, your host of theCUBE. We're here for the Raise Summit, day 2, wall-to-wall coverage of theCUBE. Live streaming again all from Paris. Of course, the top story is AI infrastructure that's enabling massive change at the agentic layer and of course the AI native software layer emerging. This section also is talking about sovereignty because we're in Europe, they care about sovereignty, but it's everywhere. And that's the topic of this one, is that Philip Rathle is here, CTO of Neo4j, the leading graph database. Phil, great to see you again.
Pleasure to be here, John.
As always, going to be great. And Amit Govrin, who's the CEO of Agency Labs, agent with a T, CY, new venture. Congratulations on yourself. We did this hit in Palo Alto.
Appreciate it.
We unpacked the hell out of sovereignty.
Sovereignty is a big topic, as we all know.
What is the big challenge with sovereignty? Is it definition? Is it technical? Is it change management? Is it understanding? What's the take on this, guys? Because this is something I'm trying to figure out where the best leverage is. I mean, we all know the 5-layer cake. There's no data in there. Okay, it's like, okay,
yeah,
well, of course it's from NVIDIA, but they should care about that because data, they do a lot of data processing.
It's a startling omission, and actually this is one of the things I'm planning to cover later is, okay, chips and infrastructure, like you could, I throw infrastructure and chips together into the same bucket, and you know, above that, you have your data layer, and your data can be used, it's what's used to train models, it's what's used alongside models, and used to create the intelligence, for sure. But coming back to your sovereignty question, first and foremost is understanding how much do you care about what different aspect of sovereignty, because the more you pull the thread, the more it can get very expensive and very time consuming, and at the end of the day, what risk are you trying to mitigate for? And so, you know, on the spectrum of, you know, things to care about, economic value chain is something a lot of companies here in Europe care about, that some economic value accrue to European companies, but you know, at what point are you know, at some point someone's got to rely on chips made in other places, and these are global supply chains. So really what's the most important is making sure that your data is intact and making sure that no one can, you know, I mean, last week was a big rallying cry for people here at the conference of, you know, all of a sudden this model was yanked and no one had access to it, and you know, that sort of brings up another sovereignty issue, is access to models. So that's pushing a lot of the conversation here towards open source models as well.
Yeah. Me and Philip share the same thought here. It's not binary, it's not 0 or 1. Sovereignty could have different layers to it, different elements to it, and economic value, in my opinion, is the biggest one. We're also selling to enterprises, not just to governments. And it doesn't have to be military grade and air-gapped environments for it to be sovereign. It could also have different aspects, and the data is the biggest, I'd say the biggest crown jewel of them all.
Okay, so pretend I'm like an architect for a country or a company. What do I have to do to be sovereign? Is there a technical playbook? Is there like a cloud native, like do I stand up sovereignty? Like you mentioned, pulling the thread, it gets complex and costly. Yeah. Where do I get over my skis? How do you guys view the deployment or just laying out the architecture? What's your take on it? What's the best practice? What's the best approach?
Start us off.
So we came up with a 5-layer approach. The first one's territorial. That's the obvious one, right? Where's the data handled and so forth. But then you have operational. Who's actually touching my processes? If I'm Telefonica and I have Huawei as an example, setting up these data centers, who does Huawei answer to? Is it to the European Union or to Beijing? So that's another example of where sovereignty may lie. Then you have the stack itself. Is it open source? Is it forkable? Are you able to actually go ahead and to see what's inside? Open weights model comes into that place. Then you have the 4th layer, which is around legal, right, where jurisdiction lies. And then the 5th one is unit economics, okay? Is it feasible? Is my Fable model that may have been included in my all-in subscription is now part of the API, and now it's 10x more expensive because the vendor decided so. So there's different litmus tests that you have to run through in order for it to be encapsulated.
So it sounds like a cloud native, like DevOps conversation to me. Even things you're rattling off, it's like, okay, didn't we do that before with cloud, or is it the same kind of thing? How should people think